Morning everyone and welcome to the class. In the previous class we were discussing about why we should study political theory under the chapter Political Theory and Introduction. This chapter is all about political theory. It's an introductory chapter, and in this chapter we have discussed the meaning of politics, and besides understanding the meaning of politics, we have also studied the scope of political theory, what we study under political theory, and then we have also discussed the practical use of political theory in our practical life. And now we were started our discussion regarding why should we study political theory. What is the need of studying political theory? What is the utility of studying political theory? And in this regard we have seen the most important reason for studying political theory is that there are some career options in which we need to study political theory if we want to pursue those career in our life, like the career of a lawyer and a judge, the career of a journalist, the career of an activist, the career of a bureaucrat. So all these, then the career of a political leaders. So these are the career options which are available before the students like you. And if you want to choose any option from these which I just told, so in order to excel in your field, you must have knowledge of political theory. Then we come to the second point. We have discussed the second reason why we need to study political theory, and in this regard we saw that political theory is very much needed by the people of the country, because if we are aware of the basic ideas and values of political theory, then we will be able to evaluate and analyze the functions and decisions of the government in an efficient manner, and in this way we will become an aware public, and this awareness of people will put a kind of pressure on the government, and the government will try to improve itself, isn't it? If we are completely ignorant of all the values and ideas of political theory, then the government is also not bothered about all these values and ideas, and everything will go in a wrong direction. So it is very much important that if we want that the government should follow these ideals and values in its working, the government must have the goal of public welfare, then we must have the knowledge of political theory. Okay, so we have discussed this much. Okay, now we will discuss the third point, the third reason for which we need to study the political theory. Okay, so I am going to first read. This is given in your page number 14. Okay, it's page number 14. Okay, thirdly, freedom, equality and secularism are not abstract issues in our life. We daily encounter discrimination of various sorts in families, schools, colleges, shopping malls, and so on. So what we see that the values and ideals like freedom, equality, justice, secularism, these are such values which are not only there in the books. In actual life, we experience that these values are not being exercised. We experience we may experience discrimination in our family itself, then in our neighborhood, then in the school, in colleges, in public offices. So all these places are there in which with which we are associated in our daily life, and in these organizations, in these places, we find that the values and ideals are not followed. People are not having liberty, people are not having equal treatment, the principles of secularism are not being followed even by the government agency or government aided agencies. So this happens. So it's not that political theory is something which is to be there only in books. In our actual life, we experience the execution of these values and ideas, and the execution is not in a proper manner. Okay? So we ourselves have prejudices against people who are different from us, be they of a different caste or religion or gender or class. So what happens? We all are prejudiced because this kind of a negative kind of feeling comes to us naturally towards those who are different from us, different in language, different in culture, different in religion. So this is very natural, and we all are prejudiced by birth. Not I can't say it by birth, but our upbringing is such. हम इस माहौल में बड़े होते हैं, हमारे फैमिली मेम्बर्स, हमारा नेबरहुड, every institution is contributing in making us prejudiced. हम सभी prejudiced होते हैं, और जो कुछ भी डिफरेंट है उसके अगेंस्ट हम प्रेजुडिस्ड होते हैं. इट्स वेरी नेचुरल, एंड देयर इज नथिंग अननेचुरल इन बिकमिंग प्रेजुडिस्ड. ओके, सो वी ऑल आर प्रेजुडिस्ड. नाउ सी व्हाट we ourselves have prejudices against people who are different from us, be they of a different caste or religion or gender or class. If we feel oppressed, we want it redressed, and if that is delayed, we feel violent revolution is justified. So in the system, whatever social system is existing, in that system, if we are oppressed means we are the victim of the system. We are not getting any benefit from the system. The whatever is the rules, the unwritten rules of the society, that those rules are against us. If they are against us, if we are I am the victim, then there will be what kind of feeling in my heart and mind? I will think that things should be changed. I feel dissatisfied. The system is not working properly. It's oppressive. It is against a particular group. Okay? Or I feel dissatisfied, and even I can support violent revolution. Okay? In order to change this situation, even a peaceful person can support the violent revolution because he is the victim. he is oppressed. If we are privileged, we deny that there is any oppression, even as our maids and servants struggle for dignity. So there are two situations. Okay? In the first situation, you are the victim. Okay? If you are a victim, you will be dissatisfied, and you want change, and this change can you can support violent change also. And now the second situation is where you are privileged. Privileged means you are having some special rights in the society. Then you are privileged. That privilege may come because of your caste, because of your class, because of your gender, because of your religion. So by birth, you can say you are privileged means you have some special rights because of your birth. If you are privileged, then what will be your view regarding the system, regarding the social system? You will say that everything is fine. You will be totally satisfied with the system, and you will feel that जो जैसा चल रहा है उसको वैसा ही चलना चाहिए. There is no problem at all. Nothing should be changed. कुछ change नहीं होना चाहिए. Everything is fine. And you are knowing that you are seeing it, that as you are privileged, so you have maid and servants in your house, and you are observing, you are knowing that your maid and servants are highly dissatisfied with the situation, but with the system, but still you are satisfied because you are privileged. You are not having any kind of problem with the system. Okay, so this is human nature. इसमें कोई वो नहीं होते हैं. संत महात्मा जो होते हैं, दैट इज एक्सेप्शनल केसेस. इन जनरल जो ह्यूमन नेचर होता है वो यही होता है कि वो सिर्फ अपने आप को देखता है, अपने इंटरेस्ट को देखता है. इफ़ आई एम विक्टिम, आई विल बी डिससेटिस्फाइड एंड आई वांट चेंज. इफ आई एम प्रिविलेज्ड, देन आई विल से एवरीथिंग इज फाइन, देयर इज नो नीड टू चेंज. ओके. Sometimes we even feel that our servants deserves the treatment they get. So what we find that sometimes a reasonable person can also think in the way that if their servant and maid are in a very poor condition, are in a very bad condition, so we even everyone at some point of time we may think like that they deserve that kind of treatment. वो होते ही ऐसे हैं, इसलिए तो उनके साथ ऐसा होता है. तुमने सुना होगा, you must have heard people say like this, कि अगर तुम इसलिए तो तुम लोगों की ये कंडीशन है क्योंकि तुम्हारे अंदर इस तरह की क्वालिटीज़ हैं. तो व्हाट इज़ दिस? दिस इज़ नॉट द करेक्ट वे ऑफ थिंकिंग, बट बिकॉज ऑफ आवर नेचर वी थिंक लाइक दैट, वी से लाइक दैट. सो व्हाट इज़ द यूज़ ऑफ, यहाँ पर पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी की यूज़ आती है. इफ़ you are a student of political theory, if you have really studied political theory, then the sole purpose of political theory is to make you conscious of your thinking. Whatever you are thinking, you will think consciously. कि तुम्हारे ऐसे सोचने से जिसके बारे में तुम सोच रहे हो उस पर क्या असर पड़ेगा. So you start seeing things not from your point of view, but from others' point of view. This is the utility of political theory. If we are knowing these values and ideals, then we can't be like that कि we will say कि तुम ऐसा ही deserve करते हो. No, a real person, a person who really studied political theory, who really studied the ideals of liberty, equality, justice, right, secularism, he will never say like this. So it forces us, the political theory compel us to think rationally. Whatever we are thinking, we can't think anything. Okay? So what political theory encourages us to do is examine our ideas and feelings about political theory. So it compels us to examine whatever we are thinking. First, we will examine that the thinking is correct or not, politically, socially. क्या मेरी सोच से किसी के लिए किसी को नुकसान पहुंच सकता है? Then only a person who has the knowledge of political theory will speak. So this is the utility, the most important utility of political theory, and just by looking at them more carefully, we become moderate in our ideas and feelings. So this is political theory. Because of knowledge of all the ideals and values, we a political we can't say that we are political thinker. We have studied the values and ideals of political theory, just not anything, not that, more than that. But if we have studied it genuinely, then we can never become an extremist. We will be moderate. बीच का जो रास्ता होता है उसको लेकर हम चलते हैं, क्योंकि हम कभी भी एक्सट्रीमिस्ट नहीं बन सकते. ओके, और दिस इज द most useful contribution of political theory, because when we moderate our views, then what will be the situation? If in society there are more people who have moderate views, then there will be reduced number of classes and conflicts. There will be peace in the society. The society will develop. So this is the need of the hour. So many times you must have heard कि if you are you have opted for humanities, so people say just तो मतलब जिन बच्चों को कम मार्क्स आता है उनको वो लेते हैं humanities. No, this is not the correct way of thinking. Humanities का importance बहुत ज़्यादा है. आज today our society is full of problems. Society is full of evil. So many conflicts, so many tensions are there. Why? Because people are not studying social science in a proper way. If we will start giving important place to political science and this social science, not political science, all the branches of humanities, then the quality of our society will certainly improve. So now we are in the last paragraph. Finally, as a student, we enjoy debates and elocution competition. You must be enjoying debates and elocution competitions. We have opinions about what is right. We have opinions about what is right or wrong, just or unjust, but do not know whether they are reasonable or not. So, we know what is right, what is wrong, what is just, what is unjust, but we don't know कि whatever we are thinking, that is reasonable or not. Only when we argue with others, we realize the need to defend them and seek our reasons and arguments. So debate is very much important. unconsciously, you consciously you are thinking that you are knowing everything, and your knowledge is perfect. But when you go for debate, and then you feel the need, whatever is your point, you need to justify that point. And in this discussion and debate, what happens, that your ideas become more complete, your knowledge become more perfect. Okay, so political theory exposes us to systematic thinking on justice or equality, so that we can polish our opinion and argue in an informed manner and for the sake of common interest. So by studying political theory, what happens, that we start thinking in a systematic way. That is very much important. If we think in a systematic way, then only we can express our views and opinion in a proper manner before the people, and we can argue perfectly. So this political theory increases these qualities in a person. Such skills of debating rationally and communicating effectively are likely to be great asset in the global information order. So if you are studying political theory, you will have systematic knowledge of all these ideas, and then you will be better able to convey your ideas. You will be more vocal in your arguments, and in this way you will be able to promote common interest. So this is the utility of political theory. And now your chapter is complete, but one thing is left, and that is you must have seen this from page number 8. In the first half of the page, you will see there is a story going on. Okay, this is the story of Greece. Okay, so I am going to study it. In ancient Greece, in the city of Athens, Socrates was described as the wisest man. So I told you earlier also that Socrates is considered to be the first political thinker. He belonged to Greece, and he was considered as the wisest person, the most wisest person. He was known for questioning and challenging popularly held beliefs about society, religion, and politics. So he was not a person who was ready to accept all the rules and customs of society, religion, and politics. He was there to question. He was there to challenge whatever popular beliefs were there. And this is the sign of an intelligent mind. And intelligent mind can never be suppressed. An intelligent mind is not ready to accept everything as it is. It questions why it is so. It challenges, ये ऐसा क्यों है, ऐसा क्यों नहीं हो सकता है. Okay, so this is the way of thinking of Socrates. For this, he was condemned to death by the rulers of Athens, and this is the reason that the rulers of Athens did not like him, because he used to challenge the system. He used to challenge the beliefs, and these type of people are not liked by the authorities, because these people are there for change. They want change. They are not happy and they are not satisfied with the prevailing situation, and that is the reason the rulers of Athens sent him for death, sent him death sentence. ठीक है, gave him death sentence. Now we will see his student Plato wrote extensively about the life and ideas of Socrates. Okay, this is also told you that is the student of Socrates was Plato, and Plato, he wrote extensively about the life and ideas of Socrates, about his teacher. He wrote so many things, his life, his ideas. In his book The Republic, he created the character Socrates and through him examined the question, what is justice? So, the name of the book written by Plato, one of the book which was written by Plato was Republic. In this book, what was done by Plato, that he created the character of Socrates, and through the character of Socrates, he tried to know the meaning of justice. What is justice? Okay. So, the book opens with a dialogue. The book opens with a dialogue between Socrates and Cephalus. There are two people, one is Socrates and the other is Cephalus. In the course of the dialogue, Cephalus and his friends come to recognize that their understanding of justice is inadequate and unacceptable. So, whatever dialogue is going on between Cephalus and Socrates, through these conversation, Cephalus and his friends come to understand that whatever they thought about justice, that is not correct, that is not acceptable, and that is not adequate, because whatever Socrates was saying about justice, that is adequate and acceptable. So in this way, through the dialogue, through the conversation of Socrates and Cephalus, Plato has tried to explain the meaning of justice. The important thing in this is that Socrates uses reason to reveal the limitations and inconsistencies in a given point of view. The most important thing is Socrates, the arguments of Socrates were based on reason. Okay, and on the basis of reason, he tried to prove that whatever is the prevalent thinking about any concept or idea is not correct. So, the basis of, on what basis this was done by Socrates, the basis was reason. And we know whatever is proved by reason, everyone accept that, because reason को तो कोई गलत नहीं कह सकता है, isn't it? So everything was based on reason. His adversaries eventually admit that the views they had held and lived by could not be sustained. So because of his arguments which were based on reason, all the people around him who were opponent of Socrates, but ultimately they accepted that whatever Socrates is saying, that is correct. Okay. Read and see how Socrates achieved this. Now we will read this, and by this we will come to know how Socrates achieved this. How Socrates gave a new explanation to the concept of justice, and whatever explanation or whatever meaning was prevalent at that time was proved to be wrong. So we will discuss this conversation in the next class.